Hi folks, the next little bit of maintenance on the Mk5 R32 is going to be the boot latch. You see I have the boot latch here. This is a genuine VW one. Hopefully you can see the part numbers there as it comes a bit closer. In short, I decided to play safe and go for a genuine one. Basically the symptoms at the minute are, be it via the remote on the key fob, the internal unlock button, or of course the handle badge in the boot. The boot doesn't open anymore. I found it was getting sporadic, and it was more and more often that it just wouldn't unlock. The odd time, maybe if it was very dry, it would. So anyway, time to get this replaced and go from there. And just as a gentle heads up, if anybody finds that they have had this problem and can't get into their boot and need to, this is a safety unlock catch. So if your boot is unlocked like so, that latch there will unlock it, and basically this will sit inside the boot, like if I get the orientation right, like so. So there's a small semicircle cover on the boot, and when you press that catch there, that's what releases, so you have access. If you pull down the back seats and go in that way, you'll see there is access. But when I get the trim off and maybe show you where to get your part number to make sure you get the right part, I'll maybe show you that as well. Noting it's very difficult to show you on camera, that you can see I have the boot flap opened, looking at the lock itself, just trying to show you where you can get your part number, just to make sure you get the right one for your car. So you can see, hopefully it's coming through on the camera, or at least you can see where you look to get your sort of part number to make sure you get the right one. And further back you'll see that's the wee catch on the inside of the boot trim, just above the lock, where you peel that cover off, and that's where you have that wee flap or lever just to push back to open it manually. So anyway, time to get this boot trim removed, which you're going to need, if I show you in the handles there, hopefully that's coming out there, you'll see there's one Phillips head screw, and the same on the other side in there. Two of those to remove, and then I think it's pretty much a case of trying to carefully prise back the plastic trim, so we can do that. Okay, starting off at the trim removal. Okay, that's obviously getting into the light bulbs, taking that out for good measure, and I will move over to do the same on the other side. And the other one. Is out. Now time for the Phillips screws. Okay, that's the two Phillips screws removed there. Hopefully that's visible. Time now to try and remove this trim. These can be held on, or these are held on with plastic sort of pop clips, so it can be good fun trying to remove it. So if you hear a few beeps every now and then, that's me probably swearing away trying to get it off. So anyway, let's move on and try and get this released. Okay folks, you'll see that come off with quite a bang there. That exposes obviously the internals of the boot. So time now to look at getting these bolts off, wiring disconnected for the latch, and go from there. Just to show you, to make life as easy as possible for you, you can see some of the metal clips that hold it in place. They're like spring-loaded clips there, which obviously need a bit of force to get them popped off. What I would also say is make sure they're all in line so that whenever you go to reinstall it, everything clips in nice and securely. Okay, appreciate it's very difficult to actually see this wiring clip here, but you can see that's wiring going into the boot lid. There is a wee clip that needs pushed up, that releases it off a wee catch, and then you should be able to pull out the cable. Hi folks, I finally got there. Ended up using this little pick tool there, hopefully that comes across. In short, I ended up at an angle like so, ended up trying to push in there like so, turned it round about 45-90 degrees, lifted it up, off the wiring clip popped. So that's it disconnected. The next thing to do are the two spline bolts now. I'll get them loosened and that should be it out in place. And if it helps at all, to see a similar wiring connector just to see how it all attaches together, the boot latch where I'm pointing now uses exactly the same wiring connector, so you can see what sort of angles you need to put your screwdriver or pry tool in at, how to release it, etc, etc. Anyway, let's go on and get these spline bolts out. That is both the bolts loosened now. Just as a heads up, these are not Torx bolts. If you're used to working on the Volkswagen Audi Group cars, you'll see they're splined bolts. In this case, it is an M7 spline bit required. So yeah, you'll need to get them to loosen these bolts. So that's them loosened. Time to finish them off by hand and get the lock removed. Okay, and this should be the lock free now, which it is. Simple as that. My next stage will be to quickly set the new lock in, put the wiring connector on and make sure the lock is working. So I will quickly grab a bolt, hand thread it in and wire this up and test it. Okay, that is a wiring connector in. I'm going to pretend this boot is locked, like so. Let's see if this handle unlocks it. And it does not. Interesting. Okay, the next stage is, as you'll see, yesterday I was testing the boot lock and was replacing the latch and going through OBD 11. While the short on the latch has disappeared, the boot still is not opening via the remote or the handle. So you'll see this video showing the inside of the boot. Obviously there's the latch and that's the inside of the handle there. So what I can do is, using my finger, lock the boot. If I was to hit the remote now or pull the handle, nothing would happen, which is exactly the same symptoms. We've replaced the latch, so we know that's not at fault. It is a common fault, so I'm fairly happy I've replaced it. But what my next stage to do is have a look at the handle itself, and this is a common problem. And if you look where my finger's pointing, you'll see a white arm, and if I go round to the other side so I can reach up to get the switch for the handle, bear in mind I'll move the boot a bit here, you should see that arm moves slightly there, and all that's doing is acting on that wee small metal arm which is a micro switch, and electronic control for the switch. There's no mechanical link between that and the boot latch itself. So next bit of diagnosis, if I can remove this plug one-handed, come out very easily before. Get 2 hands in this, 2 ticks. Okay folks, you'll see I have this plug disconnected. Took a wee bit of a struggle, but just with one hand managed to get it out. Anyway, 2 pins, you'll see there's metal contacts on the inside of that switch. Using a bent over clip, metal clip, plug this in. You'll see you heard the latch on the boot lock opening. So that's a test to show that the wiring is fine there, the latch is fine, so the fault is in the handle or boot release switch. And that's the electronic action that actions on the latch. So basically the fault is within this area. These micro switches here are commonly at fault. So while this video series showed you replacing the latch, I'll do another video on showing you how to replace the micro switch in this. I have ordered one, it's due tomorrow. So the plan would be to replace only this micro switch alone. The switch otherwise is simply a rotating mechanical assembly. There's a few springs that can wear down, but I'm going to try and just replace the micro switch itself, and I'll see how that goes. That's with diagnosis, narrowing things down. I think that's the only thing it can be. That's the only electronical thing that's going to be causing a fault there. So as I said, I'll try replacing that alone in the next series, but hopefully replacing the latch, that video was helpful to you. Both the latch and the handle itself are known common problems across the VAG range, but at least that video showed you how to replace that boot latch itself. Yeah, roll on the next video. Hopefully that was helpful. Any comments or queries, feel free to send them over, and naturally like, share and subscribe as well. Cheers folks, bye.